But he'll be trying to add that one very soon, as we do get ourselves into game one of our final League Play Week over in North America. It's NRG, it's Ghost Gaming. We're going to start ourselves off. Justin, set up the team. Now, Garrett's going to go on curious. I feel like Garrett's a very quiet team overall.
Yeah, I mean, everything so far for NRG is going to be one-sided with the way they pass like this.
You know, sometimes I absolutely love being wrong. Garrett G comes in and levers it at the back of the net. Here is Justin. What's the setup? Could be by himself though. Keeps it going, and what a save that is from Mist. Holds it out of the net. Atomic. Trying to get that back into the midfield. Garrett G taking his time. One straight down again. We'll play it into the far corner. He's going to try and chase this, but yeah, the rest of his team are in a good spot. Almost a ceiling pinch. Now, I've only seen that scored once before, so it'll be a good time to try and get another one. Lucian to the backboard. Garrett G to Turbo. Phenomenal clearing play. So there's a little bit of space to work with here. Drop straight down. Missed. Can't get there in time. Justin's going to take over. Off the backboard. No, goes straight for net. Atomic. Able to push that one away. NRG smothering Ghost Gaming so far this series.
I mean, right off the bat, you can see the possession and the plays that NRG possess, mainly in their arsenal. It's this midfield possession where they can just kind of hit it back and forth, easy give and goes to clear the ball. You just talked about it earlier, Shogun. You know, great, phenomenal clears out of the defensive area, and that's what we're looking for whenever we talk about NRG. But on the other side, we have to pay attention to Atomic. This is a player that needs to be making opportunities and that needs to be opening up space for his teammates and for, more specifically, for Mist to come in with the crashing shots.
We were talking earlier on about accolades. Currently, Atomic trying to chase down the assists per game this season. He's pretty high up there at the moment. He's going to be off the backboard. First sustained pressure so far for Ghost Gaming. Can they make something of it? But these passing plays out from NRG. So deliberate and so effective. Turbo by himself, who you see is too stolen. And he's actually been beat to that one. We'll do better with that in the future. But here's enough on this passing plays. Garrett's not been great with it. Gets himself a flick reset. And it's always lovely when you've got that in your arsenal just to turn the play around.
Yeah, and Garrett actually, if you saw in Game 5, it's reminiscent of that against G2. He actually almost had a flick reset dunk after getting bumped. So this player, this mechanic in general of getting that flip reset has added so much to the game. You can see that Garrett G is trying to make use of it there. But so far, look at them. They're just smothering everybody on Ghost Gaming. The possession in midfield, these double touches off the wall from Justin to even cause more of a delay for your teammates to get boost. Everything is so clean from NRG.
Great catch from Turbo. Looks to find the net. Atomic tips that over the bar. Garrett keeping the pressure on. It's going to be a lot of work for Justin to do, but Justin tends to do work in these situations. Set up one more time, and Garrett went all in. 1 minute 40 on the clock now. NRG do not look like the team that are leading. They have been ferocious in offense. Transition yet again. Here's Garrett. Maybe by himself. Lays it off to Turbo. Can't quite get contact. I'll give Turbo just a little bit more leeway at the top of the goals per game leaderboards. Turbo finds his shot being blocked. So, Ghost Gaming, just over a minute left. Can they turn this around and find themselves really their first major opportunity on net? Lucian. Lucian taken out though. Turbo, plenty of time, had a sitting and waiting target. That was a huge stop from Atomic. Managed to spot it quickly enough. Lucian, plenty of time to put himself back into a good spot. Justin trying to seal the game. 53 seconds left. And Justin might have just got game one for NRG.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's really just light work for the rotation of NRG. We can see demos earlier on were getting involved so much. The physical play coming out. And that was just the extra little cherry on top to break down the defense of Ghost. We saw Atomic get a crazy save, but after that demo came out, the space was opened up, and NRG now are looking more dominant than ever in this first game of the series.
NRG, the most amount of losses they've ever had in RLCS season has been 3. Obviously this season a little bit longer, but they would like to not tie that this season.
Yeah.
Turbo, past Atomic. Then we've got Illusion and Mist left. This is not the part of the field that Ghost Gaming want to be, and we talked about how good their offense was against G2. The problem is, and we heard the desk talk about it before we got started today, is that G2 sort of invite that level of play. They're allowed, very happy to watch their opponents try and attack them. NRG less so. They've been controlling the field much better than G2 did. So far, Ghost Gaming unable to reciprocate.
And I think the main thing to focus on really for a lot of NRG is the fact that they don't get too desperate. I think all 3 of these players, especially with the inclusion of Turbo Pulsar now, is the fact that they really are such a hard team to break down mentally. You know, when it comes down to everybody on this team, you cannot mess with their heads. You can't break their rotation in. The only instances I feel like we really see NRG struggle is whenever their mechanics are just off. And we did see that against Cloud9 in that sweep that it was a rough loss for them, probably the roughest of the season for NRG. And in that series alone, we really only saw issues on the mechanical side. So for NRG, the question is really, how do you break them down? And right now, even I struggle to oftentimes find the answer for this because they just seem so consistent and so calm and collected on the defensive side that you can't throw them off their game.
Absolutely. I think for Ghost Gaming, it's going to be very much about trying to work very spontaneous situations to your favor. You really cannot game plan for NRG when they are on point. Instead, you have to just take each situation as they come and see if you can get something out of it and make the most of it. We've seen Ghost Gaming that they're not afraid to send players forward. They're going to have to keep like that throughout this series because Ghost Gaming are not going to get many opportunities to outpace NRG to the ball.
And I mean, that's the thing I was going to talk about is one routine that you could go for is to try and out-mechanic and outpace NRG. But then whenever you do that, it's going to be super difficult because you have somebody like Justin in the midfield who's almost winning every single challenge. So it comes down to the strategies that you really throw at NRG, and breaking down this offense is going to be so difficult. That's a great way to do it. Off the kickoff of this.
All of the strategies in the world could never prepare you for kickoffs. That's exactly what Ghost Gaming needed in this situation. They've got a goal lead, 4 minutes 57 on the clock, and it means that they can sort of take a bit of time here. You know, sometimes in these sort of games, you can feel like you're losing going in. And for them to be a goal up means that they can just say, okay, now we can play this at our pace. NRG have to come to us from here on out.
Definitely.
It's looks control. It's going to be Garrett. Takes his time, realizes he can probably get another player. That is well timed from Illusion. Knows he's got a player demo, doesn't want to dive in, and leave his final player back in a rough position. Drop down from Atomic. Not going to be shootable. He goes for it anyway. Fishy was passed too far back on the car, means you can't generate any power. Gaming looking so good at the start of this game. That kickoff seemed to be almost a show of what's to come, but Justin, he gets to the halfway line for it, but more spins than you can count to do so. Back to the corner. Ghost Gaming, more possession so far this game than they had the entirety of the last one, but you cannot make mistakes like that. NRG get a freebie.
And this is almost similar to the kickoff goal we did see earlier. Atomic, a poor touch in the midfield. We want to see bigger hits from him in the midfield. You have to either control it or stall out for your teammate. And Atomic, he's either making the play for Ghost Gaming or he's completely collapsing the defense. It's all on his shoulders, I feel like, for the playstyle. And for him to go up against NRG and get that initial kickoff goal, mistakes like that cannot happen.
That he might come to regret should Ghost Gaming go on to lose this game. Turbo sets up, Justin scores. Beautiful gameplay.
I mean, just look at that corner control from Turbo Pulse. You can see him in the corner, that initial touch whenever he got that delicate control to keep it down, bring the ball lower to the car, and then flick it out into the middle. We've seen that so much, actually, I feel like this season, is the control from every single player in the corner. It's so difficult to keep that ball close to your car when you're on the wall. But these players and these pros make it look so easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching Rocket League Esports, it does change just that quickly. Ghost Gaming were in full control for the opening minute. Barely 20 seconds later in game time, it is all the opposite direction. Illusion doesn't quite have the boost to get there, but he's got himself a teammate in the form of Atomic.
I love this play. Illusion, you can see him. Look at him feather the boost under the ball. He knows Atomic has the shot, but Illusion will keep trying to get and shadow the ball, distract the shot, and it kind of fakes out the defender there to the point where you think Illusion is going to keep following it up, keep going for the air dribble, but then Atomic just comes out of nowhere with the redirection, and that kind of mind game and illusion is what you want to see.
Justin almost insulted by the idea that someone would fake reset, instead decides to go for two, just to prove that it is done like that. A volley over to Garrett. The game is all tied up as we reach the halfway point. It's starting to look like more the pace that we would expect Ghost Gaming to thrive in. It's a little bit quicker, a little bit more sloppy from both sides, forcing these quick decisions. Drop down. That's Atomic's the shoot, forces everybody to jump. Didn't follow up. Maybe Atomic following his own touch. He's got two players to move.
Wow.
Justin goes for him. It's a great little play. It's going to leave so little boost now for Ghost Gaming. Garrett G, who's so happy to see that the third man, which is Atomic, is so far back.
And it's beautiful plays like that earlier from Atomic where he's air dribbling just to stall out for so much time for his teammates to go back, get some boost, and then recoup and go for some more aggression. But Garrett G now scoops it right under the ball for a nice shot in the upper net. They take the lead now 3-2.
For Ghost Gaming, this is kind of more of the same, really. That ball was trickling in their side of the field, barely moving. Nobody put any pressure on it.
Yeah.
And NRG just take themselves another goal. It feels to me, like the goals that Ghosts are conceding are so much easier than the ones that they're getting forced to score.
And I mean, that's just kind of the theme that goes against NRG right now, is you cannot break down yourselves on the defense. And they've done a great job. Ghost, you have to hand it to them. This game, a lot of their opportunities have been fantastic. The passing has been there, the creativity. We just saw the fake shot from Illusion for Atomic to go in for the redirect. It's plays like that that will break down NRG, but you are not going to win the series if your defense has any slight gap, because NRG are so good at punishing and keeping their rotation solid even whenever they're losing.
Turbo is beaten to the ball. Garrett G wants to make sure that's not going to go in. Ghost Gaming now back in offense. Need to try and take advantage of this as well. Turbo challenge to Atomic, who looks to follow. It's going to be quite juicy to try and play from there. It is still in the corner. Two players used by NRG. Turbo trying to find some way to escape, and he's found a little gap in the defense. Allows NRG to put themselves in now the orange side of the field. Gaming have to try and lock this down one more time. This is not the player, though, that you want to try and do that against. Justin can waste so much time off the clock and get so many of your players to move. It's just a horrible player to play against when you're losing in the last minute.
Yeah.
Turbo tries to feint it. Doesn't work. Justin for Garrett one more time, but Garrett's being chased. It does get hit by Atomic. Huge chance now for Ghost Gaming. Missed. Is going to go up. She chooses to stay back. Might not be the right decision, though. Garrett, she gets a flick. Should be controlled very quickly. Missed. Blast long. Turbo Pulsar flies straight on up. Once again, looking for small gaps in the rotation to try and stall a bit more time. Ghost Gaming running out of exactly that as well. Missed. Goes long. Turbo's missed it. Off the backboard. And it's in!
Atomic. The opportunity of a lifetime here for the buzzer beater. Turbo Pulsar misreads it off the backboard. Justin is left in net just staring at the shot. He has no chance. He thought Turbo was going to get a hit, and Atomic clutches it out with an unreal shot. A lifetime, once in a lifetime opportunity to actually put that on net and get a chance here. Now they've got at least some life here.
Want to take the lead one more time. Next goal takes game 2. Illusion has got Atomic in his sights. Pops up one more time. There's not going to be a missed around, though, to take the follow-up shot. How aggressive is Ghost Gaming willing to be against NRG's defense? Here's Atomic. So straight down, double commit again, but you have to do it right now. Ghost Gaming can be so so deadly in these situations. Reminder that they are trying to play to lock in a top 6 spot, which gets them playoffs. Justin can follow. He's going to do exactly that. Atomic does a good job not trying to overcommit. NRG showing that they've got offensive chops. Garrett has got the set. Missed. Will not be able to get them, but Turbo misses. And there's going to be an opportunity to break for Ghost Gaming. They should have been out of this game.
If you're Turbo, you are so tilted out of your mind right now. He was the player who made the mistake off the backboard and misread it with a huge whiff to open up that buzzer beater, and now he just missed maybe the single opportunity that NRG are going to get in this overtime.
If there was anyone to get it, you wanted it to be him. Atomic, good flick. He's going to open up some space for a Lucian. One tap. Or he has a teammate who's going to drop it! And Atomic, hat-trick hero to take game 2.
This is the player who is going to make moves for Ghost Gaming. Atomic, so lethal on offense. We saw a couple of mistakes early on from him in this series, but he has picked it up on the offensive side, his shooting, the buzzer beater, and then now the overtime goal. Like you said, Shogun, a hat trick for this man. This is an outstanding performance so far. I love the aggression from him and the fact that he's also taken the boost, the corner boost from NRG. They're starving him out and they're forcing them in awkward situations.
What a game that was. 7 goals.
My goodness.
And we never truly knew who was going to get it. Plus a 0-second goal for Ghost Gaming to take it into overtime. That was absolutely phenomenal. But yes, Atomic, the man of the hour. He's got to try and keep this going now. For Ghost Gaming, this is sort of looking like the pace that they want. I do want to give a huge shout out to Mist on the setup play for the 0-second goal, because you can see the positioning from NRG, how we saw Turbo fly up for it. He couldn't quite get there. Reason being is because it's almost too easy of a read that he's going to pass it straight across over to Atomic. Instead, he goes for the more basic play. He blasts it off the backboard, and NRG were not expecting that, and it took them all out.
And in that situation, I mean, Turbo, he was trying to play a little bit of a passive play style and maybe hope for or go for the safer option, like you said, Shogun, which is the pass across from Mist. And what they've actually been doing, Ghost Gaming, this entire series, you can see if you just watch that game, their passing in the midfield has been phenomenal. And it's been these little give and goes to move the ball down the field that's breaking down the defense of NRG, forcing whiffs like that from Turbo Pulsa and making them in these weird, uncomfortable situations. This is great gameplay so far from Ghost and what we wanted to see from them against NRG. And if you capitalize on those mistakes from Turbo, you've got this in the bag.
We've talked an awful lot about Ghost so far, but for NRG, I do want to give them a bit of credit. Yes, they conceded 4 in the last game. Not a single one of them outside of the kickoff was easy to score. They are being forced to work on Ghost Gaming's side if they want to try and pick up a goal. Garrett G. Got a second touch, and he's got Justin to the far side of him. He is almost there. Crucial touch to keep it away. Be able to follow. It's Garrett G to the corner again. NRG, we saw this in game 1 for them, where they were just controlling the entire side of the field. Off the backboard, Garrett G will be there pretty comfortably, so comfortable that Ghost Gaming don't bother to commit anybody. That is a great save. Not only disables Justin from going for an extra touch, but it means plenty of time to reboost, get yourself back into position, and prepare for the next assault.
And I think that's something that both these teams have been doing really well, is those huge clears where you can either find a teammate or get an unreal read off the backboard where nobody's waiting for it. And a great opportunity then for Turbo. You love to see the passing, but these saves from Ghost Gaming, we saw Atomic last game get an unreal one as well. But now, they've really just been on point with stopping everything on the goal line.
The backboard, Garrett has to get there. Lucian tries to find top corner. Justin will cover. Both teams starting to really ramp up the gameplay. Looking more and more similar to G2 versus Ghost Gaming. Atomic's gonna take his time. He realizes Garrett's trying to float around. NRG is looking to try and lock down here. But every single time they try and do so, it's getting more and more difficult. Turbo off the backboard. A Lucian's covering it yet again. It just seems like a lot of the options have been thought of already by Ghost. NRG trying to find something that they haven't thought of off the backboard and missed. Just pops it straight up one more time.
I think something important to notice as well is you can see Turbo, he's actually rocking the Batmobile. And that's how you know he's tilted, because he's going up against Atomic, a player who is yet again, even in this game, popping off. But what a setup from Lucian off the backboard.
That is just so quick as well. Barely even hit the backboard before Atomic got there, who is just truly stepping up today in a series that is pretty much must win. If you're Ghost Gaming, the last thing you want to be doing when it comes to playoff is giving your chances to somebody else, to have it in their hands, not yours. Lucian following around. Atomic waiting in the midfield. You can tell why Garrett's getting over to that nice and quickly. You don't want Atomic taking any more shots. There's almost been one adaptation, Turtle, that I've really appreciated so far from mostly Ghost Gaming, but both teams have been trying to do it. We've typically seen a lot of defenses hold players either backboard or behind the back post. What they're doing instead is if they've got all three players back, they're actually holding their third player on the 6-yard box, meaning that that player, if the ball does come out, can just pop the ball up high, give somebody that's on the goal line a chance to try and aerial for it. And it means transitions have become so much easier for these teams.
Yeah. And I think we're also seeing, because of that, a lot of air dribbles that come out of the defensive side. You know, we saw it with Atomic and also with Justin. Both these players have been air dribbling to waste time not only, but also get the clear. So like you said, Shogun, if you got somebody on the 6-yard box, you can kind of pop the ball up, give somebody else time to go for that space and make use of it to carry it out of the defensive side.
Oh, Turbo had to make contact. Lucian barreling in. Full missile mode. Around. NRG squeezing further and further in. Atomic already up, and that is so quick. He wins clean against Turbo, who simply doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the pace.
I mean, all the reads from Ghost so far have been insane on the defensive side. They've been early to get up to the ball. Atomic just there was so quick, and it's these hard reads that we even saw Turbo Pulse miss off the backboard that proved to be so difficult. Pros all the time mess up, but the mechanics so far from Ghost have been really a step ahead of NRG.
I'm talking about how good the reads have been so far from Ghost. This is where the player that you just saw hit the ball has to step in. Justin is the most unpredictable player in North America. He now needs 100 boost and a little bit of time on the ball, and maybe he can break this defense wide open. It's going to be him now. Up. Flip reset. Tries to keep it going. Well covered from Miss. Turbo trying to inch forward. 15 seconds now on the clock. Justin hops one more time. Needs to get there though. NRG
1v1.
But they can't quite figure it out. Hook shot from Atomic. Not going to find the back of the net. Last opportunity now for NRG. They had a 0-second goal going against them last game. Can they make one happen this time around? It does not look so. Ghost Gaming on the verge of taking their series. They need one more.
Yeah, and I think this really gives me flashbacks to that point that you made earlier, Shogun, was the fact that, you know, Ghost Gaming, they scored first last game, and ever since then we talked about how they can control the pace, because it was now NRG who had to take a step forward and come to them looking to break down the defense, because they're already trailing by a goal. So once Atomic got that great shot off the pass from Lucian, now you can see Ghost Gaming, they were fine with just sitting back, making, you know, insane reads off the backboard, as long as they're doing it consistently and just letting NRG overexert themselves, forcing a goal. And I think that, you know, them being able to stay calm, be passive on the defensive side is really what got them this close but very calm win.
Absolutely. For NRG, it seems like ideas are there. I definitely do like some of the ideas, but we saw in that final minute how execution is almost off a little bit right now, especially when it comes to passing plays. There's been a lot of passes that have been almost into the body of the car right now. And what I mean by that is like very central, means that the shot cannot come from, you prefer to run on to these sort of shots to really generate some sort of power, rather than being forced to completely stop your car and then try and take the shot. And that's what's happened a lot of times right now for NRG. So they haven't been able to generate the sort of power that they would prefer to in order to try and get a goal past Ghost Gaming's defense. Now, for you, Turtle, you're looking at the way NRG are playing. If you could make just one little tweak, what would you like to see from them?
For NRG, I think it's a matter of speed on the offensive side. And I say that with, you know, full confidence knowing that they can make just as good reads on the offensive side as Ghost Gaming are off the backboard. But the thing of it is they're forcing a lot of instances where their passes are kind of more given to the idea that Ghost Gaming are going to miss that read instead of just hitting it to open space. And I think if NRG are going to look for these passes and look for these infield hits, they need to do it away from the Ghost Gaming defense, because right now the defense from Ghost it's too good. Their reads are too on point. They're not missing any clears whatsoever. So at this point, you have to only feed the ball into open space for your teammates, for NRG to actually make use of it. And for Justin, like you talked about, for a player who's so unpredictable like him, you have to give him space to do his thing, because Ghost Gaming, their defense is too good right now. So open space up, look for those opportunities, and try and flush the ball into areas that aren't so heavily conflicted with a lot of the defenders from Ghost.
Absolutely. And we are looking at the series overall, and it's been close. It really has been. NRG and Ghost Gaming taking each other to new levels throughout this season. As honestly, NRG, I feel like they've been tested this season a lot more, and this is something that's going to make them better and better as we go on throughout. As we do have game 4 coming up very soon. But right now we're sort of looking at this, and I got to say, for NRG, I mentioned this earlier on. This could be that third loss of the season. Now, they've only done that once before, to my recollection. That was back, obviously, when we had only 7 games per season. But for them, they don't want to be in this position. Not only that, because they've also got a very slim chance, but still a chance at a top 2 spot.
Yeah, it's gonna be living up to the Knights to lose to C9, or not the Knights to, excuse me. If NRG win here, it's gonna be Sonics lose to G2, and you also have to hope that G2 goes 1-1, or also G2 goes 2-0, and then SSG goes 0-2. So there's a lot of moving parts for NRG to actually make top 2. So for them, I think that right now this is a game where you just want to give it your best shot. You already have secured a lot so far this season. You've played well, but to get the better positioning, better playoff, regional championship positioning and seeding, you really want to aim for that top 2 spot. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but you're going up against, I think, a hungrier Ghost Gaming right now, because there's so much more to fight for if you're Ghost.
Well, for Ghost is an AUG as well, and I've almost been very harsh about them in previous seasons, where it always seemed like they were a contender, but sort of a very out there.
Not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, consistent 5th to 6th place finishes every single season, and if they can get the win here, obviously they get to push into that 5/6 spot, which is exactly where they want to be, to try and get into playoffs and maybe start to rewrite some of their own history, because they've almost been like the footnote in Rogue's recent seasons, where it's always the case of, oh, Rogue, you managed to make playoffs and you beat Ghost Gaming to get yourselves in towards a top 4 spot to go to the World Championships. For Ghost Gaming, this season is a chance to change all of that, especially now that Rogue don't look like they're going to make it into playoffs.
Yeah,
so this is
not at all.
This is a huge chance for them.
For Ghost, I've always been somewhat of a, I guess, critic of Ghost, and I think that was the previous roster. I didn't see a lot of spark, a lot of energy with them. But now with Mist, I think that this team can really ascend. I don't think this season and their record, honestly, really represents what this team is capable of. And right now, you're even seeing it against NRG. They are holding their own easily with the passing, with the defensive reads, with the way they move the ball forward and their transition game. Everything so far is super clean from Ghost. And I think that, this is a team that has so much hidden potential with their roster. They just have to, connect the pieces. And right now, that is Atomic. He is the guy who we're looking at to make these shots, to hit these insane goals off the backboard. And he's also making great defensive plays. So far for Ghost, while this is a season that has been a little bit rough, they can conclude this with a solid win against NRG and hopefully make a run for, even a regional championship spot.
Absolutely. So is it going to be Ghost Gaming heading into a top 6, or can NRG turn this series around and send us to a game 5? Gotta remember, no matter how much we've sort of been praising Ghost Gaming so far, game 1 was truly dominant by NRG, and they'll want to try and return to that phase again, but we almost saw another kickoff goal.
And even game 2, I think that was NRG's game to win. It was that buzzer beater whiff from Turbo, and ever since then we can see Turbo, he's actually flipped through multiple different cars. He started out on the Fennec, and then he went to Batmobile. Now he's back on the Dominus. And I think that speaks a lot to the mental you know, I guess, state of Turbo right now, because he's trying to keep himself fresh, trying to keep, you know, that placebo effect of changing his car to play a little bit better. And you can tell he's a little bit disappointed so far with how he's been playing, but hopefully we'll see a step up from him on the defensive side.
Here is Garrett, who's just popped the ball high. Like to get a little bit of a boost out from Mist, but Mist chooses to hit the more boost-conscious route. And he's still unchallenged so far. Might have to set up for Atomic. It's the one person that NRG do not want to see shooting this game. Garrett catches again. Might get the results he was after last time. Atomic actually passing that one straight back to Mist. Looks to control. Have Ghost Gaming overplayed this one. 2 players committed to get the pop up. It'll be Turbo. Keeps the play going for NRG. This is an infieldable play for Garrett, but I don't think Justin was around for him. Instead, decides to keep going. Got to muscle his way through the entirety of the defense. Which might also be a plan right now. Finesse has not worked so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the quality of passes so far from NRG, and it has been a little bit lackluster. I feel like, you know, so far, even on that initial midfield play where Gary G could have taken it in, Justin wasn't even waiting in the midfield, which is something that we see all the time from them, where somebody's always in position for a pass and to be on the receiving end. But right now, we're kind of seeing them a little bit stagnant.
Lucian tried to drop, Mist not close enough. This means now
Demo.
2v1. Justin and Turbo looking for it, but Mist able to avoid. And now the counter-attack, a booming clear. Garrett forced to try and hold the midfield. Those are the sort of opportunities that NRG need to try and take advantage of. A 2v1, only Mist, and it feels like the timing just wasn't there.
I mean, it was almost a bit of a fake from Mist, because you assume the player in that instance is going to jump and try and dodge the demo, excuse me, which is what Turbo thought was going to happen, but Mist, he just stayed on the ground and completely faked out that attacking play, just stayed calm and collected, and now, you know, they're still holding strong on defense. That almost went in. What a save, but there it is, finally Garrett with the cleanup.
Still trying to become unshocked from this scoop from Lucian, but it simply wasn't good enough. Garrett G leaving absolutely nothing to chance, blasts it off the post. There's nothing you're going to do if you're the Ghost Gaming defense. If it stays as it is, we are heading into Game 5, but Ghost Gaming can be very vicious in this position, and NRG needs to keep them held back. That's going to be popped up. Lucian tries to get there first, off the crossbar from Garrett. I do like that approach of, as long as I take the shot, I can guarantee it's going to be a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, for Ghost, though, look at their defense and the way they're moving this ball forward, and then now when they're stuck, they've been making crazy stops, but at what point is it just not enough? Because we've seen great defense, but they've been being creative on the offensive side. I want to see them take more boost, but now they're just getting flooded with shots from NRG. Things are just starting to fall apart, and what a touch from Turbo.
We've seen Ghost Gaming panic previously. NRG holding strong on the offense, refusing to leave the final third. Garrett G.
Yeah, this is game 1 NRG.
Miss. There was a slight issue that I noticed from Ghost Gaming in defense, which is whenever they're trailing, that third man holds himself very far forward. It means that if a half volley comes in, you've then got to rotate all the way back to try and keep that ball in your possession, otherwise you're going to get a missed touch that goes off your own backboard. Be very defensively conscious here. You cannot afford to go 2 goals down. Garrett G. off the backboard. Huge demo as well. Means he can get it off one more time. That's a mistouch. Oh. Ghost Gaming are falling apart here.
I love the idea of this from Atomic. To hit that over to Mist, it just was not executed well on the side of Mist. His touch on the defensive corner. He needs to just get a touch. He was so close to it. It would have been a huge clear for them. I love the idea. Mechanics are just now proving to be fatal for all of Ghost as NRG gets some security in their lead.
Turbo gets demoed, but guess what? There's the second head of the Hydra, and you cannot stop him.
Oh my. I think this speaks to RLCS experience. You can tell that Justin sees Lucian going for the demo, so he just stays behind and shadows the ball. That play right there, while it might have looked a little bit chaotic, I feel like it was just 100% purposeful from Justin to stay close to the ball, knowing a demo's coming out, and that way he can even get the surprise factor of coming through the smoke screen. NRG, they're looking back on top and looking like that game 1 form that we saw.
The games that NRG have 1, and they will go on to win this one. That looked incredibly dominant. Ghost Gaming trying to get something for themselves off the backboard. Justin put himself too far forward to really utilize it. Use quite a bit more boost than you'd like to. Atomic popped it for himself. Untouched for a while. Is looking a little bit too little too late right now, and Turtle, I do really want to speak to you about this one. What's the differences that you're really spotting right now, especially from Ghost Gaming when they are behind? Because it seems like whenever the game's neutral, they're doing a very good job of trying to keep up with it. Whenever they're behind, they're almost chaotic.
I think they get a little bit too eager to find that goal, because whenever you're trailing as a player, it's really easy to say, okay, you know what, we really need to overexert ourselves and extend our offensive line, and that makes them kind of panic a lot, because we even saw Mist. He had that huge miss on the defensive side, a couple of misplays as well from Atomic with his clears and the way that they've been touching the ball down the field. And I think that a lot of that comes down to, you know, trying to overexert yourself, over push whenever you're getting too eager for a goal. And that's something that NRG struggled with as well. It's a very common thing to fight as a player whenever you're trailing. So I think for a Ghost, if they can just stay a little bit more relaxed, try and take a little bit more boost as well, because that's also something I wanted to talk to you about, Shogun, too, is the boost consumption for Ghost. You know, whenever they're aggressive, I don't even see them taking the corner boost too much from NRG. So they got to implement things like that, and also the demos to really shake off NRG if they're feeling hot.
I sort of playing devil's advocate on that one. I feel like it's almost scary to take the time to go for those boosts. We've seen how quick the transitions have been from both teams, where both teams have required 2 players every single time to get themselves a goal. So both teams are doing that to try and get themselves their opportunities. However, when those plays don't go, we're seeing how quickly the ball is getting transitioned to the other side of the field, that it's almost terrifying to say, oh yeah, give me a minute, lad, at the back. I'll pick up this and then I'll head back towards you.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky play, but I think if you can time it right against NRG, maybe you can try and force some instances where it'll be a little bit off. But so far, we got Game 5. It's going to come down to literally the last second. Hopefully, we can see Atomic getting another buzzer beater here. As both teams so far this series have had great moments, and another kickoff for those games.
Mist again, the provider. Atomic again, the scorer. Perfect start for Ghost Gaming as they look to do something that they haven't done since September 2017. This is a desperate match for them as they look to try and clinch a top 6 spot. Turbo over to Garrett. This is a beautiful little transition from them. Almost gets a block. But now it's to Illusion for the backboard. Goes by himself! And Justin will scoop that one out of the net.
And what
a play that was.
That save from Justin, how was that even possible? That clear door towards the other side from Ghost was so strong, and now we're seeing an onslaught of shots from NRG. Both teams looking the best we've seen this series. This Game 5 is already out of control.
Under us in the first minute. But who is going to break next? This does not look like it's going to be a 1-0 game right now, Turtle. But who's got the next goal? Will it be Justin? Of course it will be.
And you talked about this earlier on, but look at the pass from Turbo. That ball, that back pass was great because he saw the space that Justin would have if he could get possession over across the field. Justin, he keeps it close, keeps it in the air, then goes for the classic air dribble that we've been seeing so much this series, where they can use and utilize that space that Ghost have been giving them. And now we see demos from Justin as well, the aggression starting to play a huge factor, and what a goal from him to finally equalize it up here in Game 5.
It's almost an underappreciated part of Justin's game about how he transitions in his air dribbles into a slightly more physically aggressive air dribble.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Justin, you think flick reset, you think finesse, but you also got to realize that he can score some of the best goals as Garrett G will get one out of nowhere.
And not only can he score some of the best goals, he can also have some of the best 50s. You saw Justin in the corner. He just stuffed everything the defender had to offer, and letting Garrett G, you know, have that space, come in, crash the ball after the 50 came out. He hit it right off the corner, kept possession, and that's what led to that goal there. So NRG, a huge play, but now a defensive miss. Justin, what happened here?
Lucian goes for it, but all eyes on Justin for this play as he he attacks the inside of the goal, and unfortunately, no matter how many world championships you've won, the inside of the goal will always win.
We go from complimenting Justin with those incredible back-to-back plays, and then now a huge miss on defense. That's got to hurt.
It's just kind of the way Rocket League is. So difficult to be consistent second to second. That's exactly what you need to be to win high-level games like this one. Justin now on the ball. He's got Turbo as an option. He can also go all the way by himself. It's the difficulty of playing against Justin. You've got to figure out which one it's going to be. We've stolen though. That's a good little play. A bit more of what you wanted, Turtle. Garrett looking for Justin. Justin. Preferred someone to pass to. Instead, just try to catch Atomic out. Calming down just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we're seeing a lot more of that classic NRG as they're pushing forward and going for more mistakes to try and exploit on the side of the defense for Ghost Gaming. But now a one-on-one. Atomic and Misty almost has the 50, but Gary G is thankfully there to stuff out the defense.
And for Garrett, that's going to be a terrible sight to come up to as soon as you've been demoed. You're back up, you got 30 or so boost to your name, and you've got Ghost Gaming ripping towards you like they did. Atomic, good little block, can follow up now. Turbo comes out off the backboard, just has to make contact. A lot more assured this time around. Now to the backboard from Turbo. End-to-end gameplay. Both teams pretty good at reading what each other are going to do. This has all been a case of who can get there quicker, as this could be a huge opportunity. Missed, I think, was getting bumped out of position. Now he's one-on-one against Justin. Turbo coming back. Will it matter? Justin's got contact. Garrett darts across. Ghost Gaming denied at the final possible second.
That was perfect rotational play from Gary G. You can see he crashed the net, had that opportunity to get the save at the exact precise moment that he could get in front of the ball. A clutch save and an even bigger 50 from Justin earlier on. But now Ghost Gaming, they're kind of pushing out a bit more. I thought that they were playing into the trap of NRG. Their clears weren't going to teammates. They weren't finding each other. But now we can see even back passes like that from Atomic. This is what Ghost Gaming do so well. It's those little give and goes in the midfield.
An ult that's not necessarily been known as clutch previously. Certainly don't seem to have much fear right now as Garrett G trying to find a way away from Illusion, and he simply couldn't do it. Like a Rottweiler on the tail.
I think Garrett G needs to get a fly swatter for Illusion because Illusion is just bullying him, being so annoying on the defensive side. And you can see he's trying to go left or right, just wiggle around Illusion, but it's not working. Too determined on the side of Illusion, and they get the lead of the goal. But now Turbo off the post. It was there. There's so many opportunities for NRG, but they just couldn't find the net.
This has not been the attacking performance from Turbo that he would have wanted. Ghost Gaming less than a minute away now from a must-win game going their way. Turbo, as far as Illusion, looks for the drop down. 2-goal lead! Not there. Garrett G will palm it away. Justin couldn't do any more though. And of course it's Atomic. 2 hat tricks to his name.
What a game 5 to say the least. This is making me lose my mind. You can see Atomic, he crashes after missed, had a solid shot on net. The save did come out. But at what point is it just too much to handle on the side of NRG and their defense? So now they've got 30 seconds to try and find 2 quick goals.
Right for the reset, and he missed. Turbo's got to try and find something. He's found Justin. Well smothered from Illusion. Every single shot from NRG not getting too much further than the foot of their car before. A Ghost Gaming player is already there. That is great time wasting from Mist. Realizes that he doesn't need to play it. The half volley. Options touch. Not great, but it should just be fine from this position, as it does touch the floor. Ghost Gaming have managed to do it. They have beaten NRG, and they've got themselves into the playoffs.
Top 6 acquired for Ghost Gaming. What a series. This was outstanding. I loved watching both these teams, and you can see they kind of molded their play styles a bit as the series went on. We started out seeing an aggressive NRG, and then Ghost Gaming kind of responded with even more aggression, more fierce demos on the offensive side, and even better passing. And then they both kind of flattened out and leveled each other and their play styles out. But now Ghost Gaming, somehow managed to take away Game 5. That was insane, Shogun.
Absolutely. I mean, Ghost Gaming, they have had some of the best series of this entire
Yeah,
season. They've
so
really,
entertaining.
really stepped up to the plate, and they've got better as the season has gone along. I think in the opening few weeks, they were sort of, sort of meh, sort of, you would expect them to maybe be around the fight, but they have started to really turn their season around. If you look in their last few performances, they've now got a win over G2, and they've got a win over NRG, both teams that you would expect them to meet at some point in playoffs, of which they have now finally managed to qualify for. So I'm very curious as to how that's going to work out for them. That's going to be a very interesting story
Yeah.
as we get to it.
I mean, we're going to have to rely a lot on Atomic. This series, this was his series. Atomic. Huge shooting performance from him on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, there were insane reads. You could see off the backboard. There's so many difficult bounces, so many difficult hits, even off the corner of the arena, where Ghost Gaming, they were first to get to the ball every single time against NRG, and monster clears all the way across the field. It's things like that and elements like that that Ghost have integrated into their defense that have made them so lethal. And that's how they really secure this win against NRG here in Game 5.
Well, this has been an incredible way to start our Saturdays. And when we come back, it's going to be Space Station Gaming against E United, a match between the top and the bottom. You're not going to want to miss it.